Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Dr. Don McMaster, president of Alpena Community College. I'd like to share today with you some data that reflects, I would say, very well on Alpena Community College and what we're doing and how we're doing it. Back before I came back to Alpena from downstate, I had worked for many years, 8 or 10 years, as a magazine writer, and I had an editor who would be comparable to a boss, a very good editor, who advised me to never bury the lead being the most important point. And this was good advice. It applies to many things I've learned. And the lead for us this week is we have now 3 years in a row, including this year, have the best graduation rate of any community college in Michigan. So this is that is the lead, and that is a very good metric. Now that is documented in a report I've referenced many times over the years, I think. It's called IPEDS. That stands for Integrated Post-Secondary Education Data System. That's what that acronym means. So this is data that every institution, large, small, community college, university, who accesses federal funding, and that's virtually all of us in the public square. Say Pell would be an example of that, federal financial aid. You have to submit data to the feds that documents how you're doing in many metrics, many areas of your operation. And so in the graduation metric, IPEDS defines the field of study as first-time, full-time, degree and certificate seeking students who complete in 150% of the time. So that sounds very complicated and cumbersome. But what it means is if a certificate student, say one of our utility tech certificate students, completes instead of the 2 semesters, 150% would be a 3rd semester. Do they complete in start to finish to graduation? Do they do that in 3 semesters? If so, that is captured by this data. If they don't, it's captured by this data. Same thing for associate degree. That's generally a 4 semester track. Say RN, registered nursing, or ADN would be fit that criteria. Most of our programs are 2-year associate degrees. So if a person completes in 6 semesters that program, that's considered a win, you might say, or that's a person that's graduated. So that sort of definition precludes many of our students and many institutions. It precludes many of their students as well. For instance, dual enrollment. They're not first-time, full-time degree-seeking students or early middle college. They're not counted here. These students are not part of this IPEDS data. So, they're not measured in this. So sometimes people complain about the validity of the IPEDS report and the sensitivity of the data. These are valid complaints, but it is the mechanism we have, and it's the mechanism that the feds demand. And as the report shows, many of our students get some form of federal financial aid. This allows them to go to college at ACC and complete oftentimes with no debt. This is a significant piece. But so 44% was our number. The next highest school was Montcalm, which in many ways, folks are familiar with Montcalm Community College. It's down near Alma, west of Mount Pleasant, in that area, about the same size, kind of rural like us. They were at 38%. So there was a pretty good spread there, 6%. And then below Montcalm is Glen Oaks, which is way down in the southwest part of the state. 34% is Kirtland, our neighbor to the west. 33% is North Central, our neighbor to the northwest. That would be Petoskey. And then 32% Southwestern over in Dowagiac. And ACC is at 44%. So I consider this, well, I'm proud of it. And I think it's not a personal thing. I think it's something the institution should take great pride in. It reflects kind of a alignment or a recognition that our focus on student success, and a recognition that that starts from really the first time that we touch base with a student, you know, even before they register, and in that process, how that goes, how they get introduced to the college, and how well that's done. Are they advised well? Do they get orientation so they know where things are? Do they get good information in a timely way? And then the classroom piece, which is in many ways the most important part of what we do. How does that go? If they have problems, can they see their instructor? Can they work with student services if an issue comes up? These are all really part of this metric, this graduation rate, this metric where we are #1 in the state of the 28 schools. And then how the end part of it goes. Can they get financial aid? I guess that's not the end, that's more toward the beginning, but the registrar's office, business office, all of that stuff comes into play. So the alignment of all these pieces into a track that students can succeed in, this is the work we do. This is kind of the management of that work, and we're doing it pretty well. Ultimately, you know, you're always competing against yourself, really, and how you've done. So in the last 3 years where we've been #1, that number has climbed each year. I think last year it was 42%. This year it's 44%. So our job is to get it to 46% or 50%. And I'm looking forward to that challenge. But it's good news. So the lead, Alpena Community College, #1 in graduation rate among the 28 community colleges for the 3rd year in a row. So thank you folks for watching Talk of the Town. We'll see you again next week.
This has been Talk of the Town with your host Bradley Summers and Dr. Don McMaster. For a list of community events taking place in Northeast Michigan, please visit our website at WBKB11.com and click on our community link. This has been a Queen Bee's Knees LLC production, a Morgan Murphy media company. All rights reserved.